What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another Monday, another mock draft Monday. Today we got a 12-person PPR auction mock draft on ESPN. We're getting closer to the start of the season, so there's a lot more full mock draft lobbies on ESPN. People are getting ready for their leagues. You got a league coming up either this week or maybe early next week before the season starts. So here we go. We're starting. We're the 10th person nominating this auction draft. We have got our rankings pulled up here. Includes values. This was updated today, so this is pretty accurate, at least from my end. Let's see, first player nominated, we got Jamar Chase. I'm gonna try doing 65. We got some auction draft, or we got some auto drafters here, so that can be a little bit annoying. Hopefully they join again. So I had some more videos come out recently. Some tier list of $1 players, and the running back one will drop probably Thursday or Friday this week. I also have a Vegas odds video that's been updated. That was really good. I really recommend checking that one out when it drops. So here we just had Jamar Chase. He went for $70. I mean, I'm seeing for Chase. Chase is kind of like that one player in the first 12 that is really going for a wide range of prices. I've seen him go for, on the low end, like his average auction value, which is like $67. But I mean, I've seen him go up to like 78. There seems to be a real big gap between Jamar Chase and everyone else. Bijan here is at 69. Looks like he's gonna go for $1 cheaper than Jamar. That happens at auction drafts. Some people really want to spend money to lock down their guy. And also, it's been pretty standard so far. They're nominating in order, which is good, especially if people are overpaying that they are for Jamar and Bijan. Not crazy overpays, but definitely over what I have them valued at. So we got Justin Jefferson, and yeah, so he's going for a lot too. So this could be a draft where I do want to walk away with a couple of these top end players, but I might have to get more of these the $50 range just because these prices are getting a little too high. All right, so here we got Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, the auto drafters are really going off right now. So let's recap the weekend. So it's the final weekend of We got Saquon Barkley now. I'll bid on him real quick. Yes, like I was saying, it's the last weekend of preseason games. A lot of teams weren't playing their starters, but some teams did. Whether it be just for just for a drive or two. So we're gonna bid on Saquon real quick. I got him at $66, and we can get him for $57. That is a great price. So I have Saquon, at the same as Bijan, $66. We got $57, so it's a great pickup. There's also a lot of great value at the wide receiver position later on, so it's good to lock down a top end, running back. So let's go through the weekend real quick. Any notable stuff? Ashton Genty looks good. He only played like one drive. They took him out. Starters, only played a couple series. Other than that, I mean, there hasn't really been anything notable. We just seen Travion Henderson just skyrocket in price. He went from, it was before preseason, he was about that $7 range, and he's now in the low 20s. And I was in on him, up until that he crossed over that like $17 mark. That it's just too much for me right now. You can see I have him at, where's Travion? I mean, I have him at still 20, but that's kind of like the most I really want to pay for him. I think he's a good player. They still have Ramondre Stevenson in that backfield. This offense shouldn't be too good. All right, so let's recap the draft. So someone took nominated Kyler. So ideally, I kind of want. I feel like Tyreek Hill's a great nomination. If you, especially because his value is a little inflated and you don't want him, it's still a decent chunk, for someone else to spend. So we got Jane Daniels, the first quarterback on the board. So the quarterbacks this year, I'm a little pretty much under on all the main guys, especially Burrow. But Daniels, I mean, I have him right around Hurts at $24. I just think $30+ for a quarterback that's not, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. It's just kind of, I mean, I just think there's better. I'd rather save some money, spend maybe $6 on a quarterback, and then have another $16 to get a top end wide receiver. So Gene Daniels going for looks like $34. So I mean that helps us. Gets this guy spending some money. We're up next when it comes to nominating. I have a couple players in mind that I think I want to use right now. So we got CeeDee Lamb. I'm offering a bit on CeeDee Lamb. I probably want to, if I can get him for like 62 or less, but yeah, I'll take 62. Yeah, 64, 63. I'll do that. I'll do that. I really think CD is a good player. All right, we'll just let it go. They can spend $65. So I have CeeDee Lamb as a wide receiver 2 this year. Right on par with Jefferson, but slightly below Jamar. So it's a good price. So our turn to nominate, because we just saw 2 quarterbacks get nominated and both of them went over their average rushing value. I want to nominate who I think is going to be the most expensive quarterback. So that's going to be Josh Allen. So we're going to nominate Josh Allen here. And we'll see where it goes. Yeah, so we're at $32, $34. I mean, Josh Allen's kind of like that fan favorite. He always seems to go for over his average auction value. So not crazy price. He went for, looks like $2 right now over his average price. Is kind of weird. This guy already has Kyler Murray, so I don't really know what the strategy was there. Yeah, that's kind of weird. We got Christian McCaffrey. I like McCaffrey this year. I got him at the running back 4. A little cheaper than Jahmyr Gibbs, but that next step up from the Genty, Achane, Henry range. So Christian McCaffrey's, yes, there's still some hype around McCaffrey. Looks like he's going for $68. So I mean, if we just look at the board right now, let's go back to our team. Like, we got the best value, and it's not even relatively close. I mean, Saquon Barkley for $57 is an insane price. I mean, just for reference, McCaffrey went for $11 more, and we just saw what Saquon did last year. So we got Courtland Sutton. I think Courtland's a great player. He's another player that did well in the last week of preseason. They were playing. I don't know if it might have been the Saints. I don't really remember who they were playing, but he only played a couple drives and he had like 4 catches for like 84 yards and a touchdown. I think he's just going to absolutely dominate this year when it comes to target share, red zone share. He's one of those veterans, kind of like a Calvin Ridley, who's in a solid situation. They can produce just because they have nobody else to compete with in that offense. Good value in drafts right now. A little too early though to overspend on that type of player. They want to lock down, one more of these big guys before I, kind of start searching for, those sleeper players. So we get St. Brown now. St. Brown's good this year. I have him at the wide receiver 7. $58, so right around his average auction value. I think it's one of the safest picks on the board. He's durable, good offense. While it might not be as good as last year, it doesn't need to be at his price point. And we'll let him go 58. With that, all right, let's try and get one of these guys here. So Malik Neighbors, it kind of depends with him, who's going to be the quarterback. I have him at $61, so the same as his average auction value. A little bit 59. Yeah, let it go for 60. There's a decent amount of hype around Neighbors this year. I mean, there's a reason for that. He was so good last year. He should have a better QB this year. Jackson Dart looked good in the last preseason game. We'll see how long it takes them to, put him into the starting lineup. So Nico Collins, another player I'm extremely up on. I have him at, $58 average auction value, so we'll probably get him unless someone really wants to rack up the price. I really like this is kind of more a balanced strategy when it comes to positions. We have kind of elite running back, an elite wide receiver. Been against the auto drafter here, so I don't know how much we're gonna go. So we're here at $56. Completely cool with that. You know, there's just not a lot of great wide receivers left. Puka's one of them. However, there's some question marks with his situation, more specifically his quarterback situation. Matt Stafford just came back to practice this week. Hasn't played in any of the preseason games, and he is probable but not confirmed to play for Week 1. So something to keep an eye on. Without Stafford, I really would drop Puka down on rankings. Puka looks like he's going for 63. I mean, this kind of shows what we did here. Saquon Barkley, $57. Great pick. So we got Devon Achane. Achane's good. I got him at the running back 7. I have him at $50. So I'm slightly below on him just based on his efficiency did drop last year. He just the main reason you have in your team is just the receptions, the pure targets, screens, checkdowns. I mean that's good, but I want to see more efficiency out of my running back. So here we got Ty's talented team. All right, Breece Hall has plummeted down rankings. I have him at $22, so I think it's a good price. If you can get him for 12, I'll let him go for 14. I think there's some other players I'm eyeing up in drafts or in the middle range. And so this guy, I mean, one thing I'm starting to notice is he nominated both players he has on his team. Never mind, he didn't get them yet. But this guy's like 2 quarterbacks. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he wanted Kyler, but then saw Josh Allen go for a price I have no idea. It's not good. And he's Breece Hall. This is not a good start for this dude, but who knows? Maybe it works out. So we got Lad McConkey here. Lad, I am on just about his average auction value. I think $34 is a good price. But we didn't spend early. This is always going for that stars and scrubs. Studs and duds, whatever you want to call it. Get some expensive guys and then get some good value picks later. We got Genty. Genty's kind of probably one of the biggest wild cards in auction drafts. I mean, in fantasy in general. You think you know what you're getting, but you are paying a heavy price. There is some, question marks around the team. $61. We got Saquon Barkley for $57. They're paying $60 for Genty. So we're doing well. Now Brian Thomas Jr., another player I love. I have him as the wide receiver 8. Well, I have his average auction value at a little higher, about $55. So we'll see what this goes for. I've seen prices range for Brian Thomas a lot. I mean, I've seen high 40s to high 50s basically, depending on when he's nominated. When he's nominated a little earlier, it tends to go for a little bit more. So see, this is a great price, $47, phenomenal price. So I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do quarterback again. I think we go Lamar. We've seen quarterbacks go for a decent amount. Let's knock out some people's budgets with Lamar. Yeah, so going over the preseason weekend, Cam Ward played again. Looked pretty good. No Calvin Ridley playing. At least I don't think he did. I'm not 100% sure. The Buccaneers, they didn't play. They might have played a book of one drive, but he's a great player. We can see he's going for. Let's see. He's going for $2. This is in the same price. I have him at $6. Like this is. I'm cool with you paying more. If he gets that Godwin roll, it's wheels up. So AJ Brown, I feel like there hasn't been that much hype around him, but when you actually look at like his situation, his numbers, like he should be going for much more. I mean, one of the safest wide receivers in this range. And $51 means a good price. Let's go through other people's teams right now. So this person hasn't spent any money yet. This person hasn't spent any money. They're auto drafters. This guy has Jefferson and Puka. I think he left. This guy has Gibbs, McConkey, and Lamb. He left. This guy has McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, and A.J. Brown. Looks like he left. This guy is no idea what he's doing. It's good price on Brian Thomas Jr. Yeah, a lot of hype I'm seeing with Chase Brown this year. I remember back in drafts he was going for. We go over here to the cheat sheet. He was going for it, and he started at 14, 25, 26, 30, and just exploded ever since. Yeah, like $45. I mean, I'm cool with paying that. I have him at $45, but I don't have that much money left. So we got this guy. I'm not sure if he's AFK or what, but yeah, we'll see who he nominates. We got $87 left. That might seem low, but I mean, look at some other people. They got 73, 75, 82, 36, 66, 97. I mean, it's we're in a good spot. Maximum offer. Some people literally will be cooked soon. So Josh Jacobs, it's good value. Jacobs ended up going for, looks like $42. It's a fair price. We got Jonathan Taylor now. Not sure what happened to my picks here. They all went away, so I can't see that. So we got, we can just go here. Josh Jacobs went for $42. Yeah, I mean, if we just look at the players, the first 12 nominated, Saquon was at $57. So the amount of people that were more expensive than him were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So ideally, it's like getting Saquon at the 11th pick if you were doing a normal snake draft. So that kind of, exemplifies the value that we got in him. So basically, 11th overall pick, Saquon Barkley. Great deal. Drake London. It's a great price on Drake London. I'm all in on Drake London this year. I have it at $52. It's good value. Derrick Henry. I am definitely above, the market on Derrick Henry. People forget what he did last year. I mean, and I know it is PPR, but still, he was so good on the ground. All right, we might be looking for one more of these guys. There's a couple of players in this range that I really like. Specifically, I mean, Terry McLaurin, his price, it was at, it went up, hit like 30, and then dropped down ever since the contract, kind of started beating up in the air. He's back. I expect his price to jump back up, maybe to, the $30 range. I mean, I'd much rather have him than Devontae Adams, straight up. Same with Garrett Wilson. So here we got Devontae Adams going for 37. Yeah, it's a good price. Brock Powers, first tight end nominated. This should be interesting. I've seen Brock Powers really range in price. Some people are all in. Some people are like, they don't want to spend that much money on the tight end. So we'll see what happens here. And how much did he go for? Sorry, my internet has been very slow today, so it's like it's currently frozen. Yeah, so we're currently frozen right now. Hopefully this, I have to reload it. Hopefully this works. Yeah, so this is why I recommend having your phone as backup, just in case you're in your actual draft. This is the mock draft. I mean, I'm using my phone to record this, so I don't want to be going in. All right, we're getting some issues with the site. Let's see what happens now. Here's the draft guide. All right, my Wi-Fi is dying out on me. Hopefully this gets back normal. Hopefully it was just a little weird thing. All right, we're back. What do we miss? Bucky Irving's going right now. Only missed a couple players. So you can see Trey McBride went for $7 more than Brock Bowers, which was pretty impressive. James Cook, $28. Let's go back to these players. I'm really looking at, specifically in this range, I'm looking at JSN, Terry McLaurin, but I want to keep this, this run going. We've seen why the tight end just went for a decent amount. See if we can drag out some more money from some people. I do like Kittle this year. I have him at the tight end 3 with a $24 value. So, the same as his average auction value. T. Higgins. You can see a lot of players are, out of money. This is kind of where I like to usually snag more guy in this range and then just, get those good value picks. So we got Higgins is look like I'm behind Higgins. I got Higgins at $27. He's going for $38. Yeah, either JSN or Terry McLaurin here. At their price, assuming no one else goes for a cheap price. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, David Montgomery. Yes, this is kind of annoying nominating this far out of order, you could say. That's kind of annoying, especially for a mock draft purpose. If you guys want this, this draft guide, it's completely free. I'll have it in the description below. It's updated every Monday, afternoon with, players' average auction values, kind of see how they've been trending over time. And then it has, rankings, their value, my value is the difference, who's a good value according to me, who's a bad value according to me, stuff like that. What I recommend doing is opening this up, description below, and downloading a copy. So then you can download a copy. You can change these values right here, the value columns, and to a number that you want. So therefore, you have something else to open while you're doing your auction draft. Works great every year. Helps you stay on budget. Helps you find value, who you should nominate, who you should aim for, who you should avoid. So here we got Kyron Williams going for 31. Cool with that. We'll let him go. You can see we're starting to, we shouldn't have too much competition on these range players. Hampton, I'm not super high on. I have him at $22. I think he's great. I'm just a little worried about Najee Harris. He should be back for at least the beginning of the season, so it's gonna be kind of annoying. He was the first round pick by the Chargers this year, so he should have a good role. It's just I don't want to spend that much money on a player that I don't know if he's gonna get all the touches in that offense. We got Jalen Hurts. This is the 5th quarterback, I think, to come off the board. The 4th main one, you could say, if you don't count the Kyler, early nomination. Jalen Hurts. It's a good price, but I want some other players instead. I can get a good quarterback late. I can get a Dak Prescott or Brock Purdy. Someone that's going to be safe and going to be good. Save some money. That's been in 28. So definitely into either Terry or JSN. Terry, I'm pretty high. I have him $32. I think this is a great price. His price is going to go up. We'll see if I can get it for 26. Lock down my 2 main starting wide receiver spots. And there we go. All right. So we have $61 left. Got our three main guys. Might try to get one more of these players in this range. I don't know. If we can get JSN for a good price, I'll definitely do that as well. Garrett Wilson, I am slightly above market. I think he's just, his offense isn't great, but he's the only guy. I mean, they don't have anybody else in that wide receiver room, to compete for targets. So I don't think this offense is going to be that good. I just think it's just a pure target share number. He did well in 2023. Then we got Chuba Hubbard. $19. It's a good price. I might take a shot on that for 19. I think he's underpriced. I have him going for $23. We'll let him go though. This guy's really getting annoying. JSN. All right, we're gonna go for JSN. Get him $30. I think it's a good price. JSN, I've seen a lot. Like some people, they don't like him, and they're not bidding on him at all. And I've seen him go for like 30s. Right now we're in at 24. This stupid auto drafter is getting really annoying. Yeah, this is the worst part about mock drafts. People just would pick two players and just leave. It's kind of annoying. So we are bidding. We're bidding as auto drafters. It's just annoying. So we'll do 30. That's the max I'm going to do. I have him priced at $38. I think he's he was a stud last year. That locks down our flex. So we're good on wide receivers in terms of paying up for. We budget $1 here, $1 here. We're down to $29, and then we're gonna fill out. There's some good players that I really like at tight end position that are cheaper. If you guys want some more in-depth videos when it comes to more specific parts of auction drafts, such as nomination strategies, bidding strategies, roster building strategies, stuff like that, make sure to check out the channel. I got a lot of videos like that. I got videos going over the tier list, going over who are the best $1 players to get at the end of drafts, who you should be avoiding. I got players that are good values, bad values, and we got mock drafts every Monday up until the start of the season. The next mock draft will be special. I think it's going to be my actual league draft. You'll see what I'm doing for a real money league. So I want to nominate a player who I think Xavier Worthy is overpriced. So I'm nominate him. Just remember, you always want to, not always, but for the main part of your draft, until you get to like the cheap players, like $2, $1 players, you want to be nominating players you don't want because you want other people to have less money to spend on the players that you want, if that makes sense. So, yeah, so we'll see Xavier Worthy go here for $16. It's good. It's a good price relative to his average option value, but I mean, granted, my value it's not. I have a $12. Got James Conner, good veteran running back, but we only have $31 left. I mean, the max we can spend on a player is going to be $20. That assumes we pay $1 for every other position remaining. Yeah, so like I said, the next video the next mock draft I will be doing will be my actual legit draft. So there won't be any auto drafters. There's going to be a lot of weird stuff going on. You're going to see players go for great prices, bad prices. And you're going to see when you have money in the line, you draft differently. You're more scared to bid up some of these players. So this guy might be. This guy was just AFK. Yeah, let me know if you guys want to see, what type of video you want to see for either this season or next season. I know we're getting towards, the dog days of, August. Got the draft. People either had their draft or they're coming up real soon. Season starts in about a week and a half. getting excited for it. Also trying to get dialed in for my main money league auction draft. Got Marv here, $17. Should bounce back. See, looks like Ty that was the guy. Yeah, so we've got that Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison stack, but he also has Josh down on the bench. I mean, I don't know what he's doing there. All right, let's go back to our team. So here we got DK. Not super high on DK. A little lower at $13. I just think he's not that great of a player. He hasn't been able to produce since like 2020. He's in a run first offense now. So we got Kenneth Walker. Now Kenneth Walker has been dealing with a ton of injuries in the preseason. Zach Charbonnet has looked extremely good in preseason. When it comes to Kenneth Walker, I don't know that really going into the season with injured players, banged up players, especially when you have one of the best handcuff running backs in the league. So we got Travion. This is a player that I want to see how much he goes for, because some people are crazy in love with Henderson. Yeah, he's $21. I mean, you can see here his price was Henderson. It started out at $4, went up, and then as soon as preseason started, we see the price just skyrocket to $7. Then he played well week 1, played great week 2, and shot up $20. So yeah, we'll see what he ends up settling down with around beginning of the season time when all drafts are done. I don't know what you guys how much he's going for in your leagues. $10 for Swift, solid price. I have him at 12, so I mean that's a good value pick. So here I might be targeting, if I didn't already have 3 wide receivers, I really like Calvin Ridley. This is what I was talking about. This is why I was really trying to bet on get a lockdown, really good running back, just because I mean there's so many good, not good, but like solid wide receivers, in this range you can save money on. I really like Tedero McMillan, but yeah, I think we're gonna stay away from wide receiver. Probably Pacheco will target here. Maybe Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard. I mean, I really like these running backs in this range. So Pollard, I have him at 14. Yeah, I mean Pollard, I'm really in on this year. I think this offense will be much better. And Tajay Spears is dealing with a high ankle sprain. It's going to linger for a while. If they just end up going with Pollard for the main part, if he's healthy, the only guy there, he's really going to do well. Catches the ball well. He's good on the ground. Good in the red zone. Rashee Rice is good if you get some good value picks at wide receiver, and you have someone that you can fill in for when he inevitably misses time. Now, no one knows how much it's going to be, but it's a risky pick, but it can definitely pay off. He's a top 5 fantasy wide receiver, when he's healthy. Now, this part of the draft, like if you're in your own home league, this is when I you want to tell the league manager, like, hey, we got to lower the time. This is going to take forever. So they Devonta Smith's overpriced. So I'm going to nominate him, see how much he goes for. For $9, I mean, that's fine. A lot of people here don't have much money to spend. From, their maximal offers are extremely low. We're only really competing with, a couple people. See what this guy got. Oh, he doesn't have anybody yet. Got Sam Laporta. Whew, this is going to be interesting. I'm all in on Tyler Warren this year. I think his price is great. I got him at $6. So it's gonna be annoying. I hate when people wait till the end, especially in mock drafts. Like wait until 1 second to bid. We're gonna max out at $4 here. Anything more is gonna be a little too much. Let this guy go. All right, we got him. Perfect. I got Tyler Warren at $6, so I think he's gonna be great. I mean, I'm starting him off the bat. He's got really high upside potential. That makes it easy. That means the other tight end we're gonna go for is probably gonna be cheap, probably a Tucker Craft, maybe Jake Ferguson, just as maybe Brenton Strange, just as backup, just as little safety blanket. So we got Calvin Ridley, it's a good price. I'm just trying to save some money when it comes to wide receiver. There's a couple guys that I like in that $6 range. Let Calvin Ridley go for looks like $8 here. We shouldn't have much competition for any of these players. I mean, people like to say, save $2 every bench spot. It leaves you with, in this league, $14 to spend. I mean, I like spending a little bit more. I like having a little more money for your bench. I'd rather take players that I think have better probabilities of, outperforming their ADP or their average option value, which is why, I'll really spend, late. I want to get the guys that I want. That makes sense. So going to our team right now, so we got Saquon Barkley, who's our most expensive player. And we had Nico Collins, got Terry McLaurin, got Jason Jigba, then we got Tyler Warren at tight end. So here we got Aaron Jones. I don't let him go. I'd rather, if he's at the same average rushing value as players like Tony Pollard, I'd rather have him straight up. So we'll see if we can get a good deal on Tony Pollard or Pacheco. And so now we got Baker Mayfield. So Michael's magnificent team. Let's see who he's going with. So TJ Hawkinson here. See what she goes for. I mean, I like TJ, but when it comes to when he's nominated, my auto draft. All right, I'm on auto draft. I guess that's annoying. So we just got him. I do not want him at all, but it's not a huge deal. We'll have TJ Hawkinson as our starter and Tyler Warren going off the bench. All right, that's annoying. I did not know why that happened. We should be off. We should be on auto draft now. All right, so that's a little annoying, but we'll move. It's not a horrible thing. That would be cool if getting TJ Hawkinson a little earlier, and then getting Tyler Warren as I mentioned. I only got both of them. I'm cool with that. Makes it easier. Won't really go for tight. So no more tight end. Yeah, Cam Scatterbo, let him go. I do not want him. I do, however, really like Tyrone Tracy for $4. I don't think I have Tyrone Tracy in my top 30. I don't even have him in my top 36, so I'm only really going for guys that are in my top 36 at wide receiver or running back here. T-Mac, would have loved to bid on him, but we got TJ Hawkinson by accident, you could say. Really in on T-Mac this year. He was a top 10 overall pick. He's kind of like a Drake London mini. This is going to max budget here, so we can see. Yeah, we got a couple players, a couple people that we're only competing against, but we'll let it go. turn that back on. I don't want that on yet. Budget. You can see there's just a lot of tight ends in this range that are cheap and high upside, pretty reliable. All right, so we gotta continue nominating someone I do not want. I do not want Jameson Williams. I will nominate him. Just let him go. And he goes for $4. I'm not really competing with that many people right now, so we should be able to get who we want here. So who I really like in this range, I love Tony Ballard. Bid on him. See if we can get him for a good price. Hopefully, maybe under 5. I think that's a running back I like starting on our team. And $5. It's a good price. $15 left. The main reason I'm having a little bit more than usual just because a lot of players don't have that much left. They also don't have that many roster spots. So we have pretty much almost our entire starting lineup done. I spent $1 on defense, $1 on kicker. I really don't care. Jared Goff, let him go. Quarterbacks that I'm really targeting in this range are Dak. Dak's 1. Maybe Brock Purdy. Drake May, that kind of range. You can see the squad so far. I got Saquon, Tony Pollard, Nico, got Terry McLaurin, Tyler Warren, JSN, and Hawkinson. So, I think a high floor, high ceiling team. Good mix of young players and older players. Good mix of rookies, vets. Got Jerry Jeudy here. See what he goes for. Just worried about this offense. I think there's a lot of potential issues with it. Let him go for $5. It's a good price. We got him at 6, so not super far off. So we got Brock Purdy. I'll pay $2. If I don't get him, I don't get him. Not super bummed out about that. I think Brock Purdy, is kind of a safe quarterback to have in fantasy this year. Got a great offense. All right, we'll let him go. The auto drafter who already has a quarterback is going to bid against me, so I'm not sure a lot of behind that. Whoever coded this guy is not the smartest. Got RJ Harvey here. When it comes to the rookie running backs, not super in on him. So I got him. It's $6. I'm a little bit below, but I don't see myself usually leaving drafts with them. However, for $3, I'll definitely take a shot. He might take a little while to, break out, but once he does, it's gonna be a good player. This is why I like having a little more money than everyone else to spend. Never mind, this dude he's been against us the whole time. He's got Bo Nix. Looks like he wants that stack, so we'll let him have it. One less player to compete with soon. Like Matthew Golden here. Let's go back to our team. Yes, I'm really liking our team so far. We got some great value picks. Got some good value picks, to my average auction value. We might have overpaid for their ESPN average auction value. However, our value is still, still well within budget. Got Pacheco here. I like Pacheco. If I get him for $3, it'll be cool. I'm not really been against that many people. The only guy that has over $2 to bid on a player is this guy, and we're going to use it to our advantage soon. So those will be locked up. Pacheco. Another player in this range I might try to lock up would be... Yeah, I'm off on Chris Godwin. I'm all in on Egbuka, though. We will definitely be leaving with him. I can promise you that. Let's go back to budgets. So you can see this is kind of where I'd like to turn on the max budget so I can see what people can spend. So a lot of times, like they have $2, I'm just going to start the bid at $2 because they can't bid $3, if that makes sense. So let him go. We hopefully will get our quarterback soon. Chris Olave. Chris Olave, I actually think he's solid, solid value. I think he's fair. He's the only guy in that offense, really. You got Shaheed, but he's more of, he's not really the X receiver that Olave is. Let him go for 2. All right, it's pretty quick. Roma Dunze. Well, I think he could break out this year. There's just some question marks surrounding him that I don't, wasn't great last year. They added Colston Loveland this year, added Luther Burden this year. I don't know. That was a player that I probably don't want to get. I mean, it's good. These are all good prices. So it's kind of like, who do you want? You only have so many. And getting close. So we got Matthew Golden. I really like these rookies. So I can get them for $2. That'll be cool. You can see the only person we've been against is this guy, but this guy has been AFK. So yeah, so that means we got Golden pretty much. Now, what normally happens if this person only like a $1 or $2 max offer, they're like as soon as you bid $2, it would just end. Like you get the player. You want to go through this whole 30-second thing. So got time to nominate. So I'm gonna nominate. No, not Tyron Tracy. I'm gonna nominate. Travis Hunter. See how much he goes for. Try to drag maybe $2 out of someone. He's a player I'm cool with having for $1 though. Yeah, so he pretty much gets him because I'm not bidding $3. So here, let's see. I want Tyron Tracy, another running back. I want Ibuka. I still need a quarterback. Probably gonna end up with Dak just because I'm not really competing with anybody. So we're at the point of the mock draft where people don't really have any money to spend. This is gonna get long. What I'm gonna do is just like every other mock draft. I'm gonna end the draft and I'm gonna put a screenshot of the players. This fully filled out with the prices I paid. As you see, you guys get Tyron Tracy here, and make sure to check out the description below for this auction draft cheat sheet. It's great. It's awesome to have. Definitely gives you advantage over your league mates. Make sure to check out the other videos on the channel. Got lots of good content out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.